Hello, world. My name is DeAndre Laquarius Horton, and welcome to The Message. In today's video, I will be talking about my 10-year anniversary. Now, for those of you who may be watching one of my videos for the first time or are unfamiliar with what The Message does, it is a video series in which I typically talk about life or I discuss topics that center around a social commentary, a political commentary, or so on and so forth. Now, in today's video, this 10-year anniversary is in regards to 10 years ago when I almost considered taking my life. Now, around this time, 10 years ago, for those of you who don't know, I did a video in this series a little while back discussing why I wanted to start doing these videos in the first place. And in that video, I talked about, when I was bullied and how that fed into my depression and social anxiety centered around this girl that I was interested in at the time. But it wasn't really about her, so to speak. It was more along the lines of how I viewed myself and how I took so much focus and energy into what people thought of me. And because of that exclusion and that isolation centered around these events, I thought about taking my life. But as you can see, I'm still here 10 years later. And I thank God for that because it wasn't easy getting out of that state of mind that I was in. And for those of you who deal with mental illness on a daily basis, you know that whatever your mental illness is, you know that it is not something that goes away. Those issues stick with you. But suicide is not necessarily a part of it. Suicide can be something that comes from it, though. So, you know firsthand that it's not easy, and sometimes we are not unable to succumb to the pressures from our illness, and we do take our lives. But this video is about me looking back and being able to reflect upon my situation and say ultimately that it has brought me to a place of thankfulness. Truly, I'm in great gratitude, uh, and it helped me recognize a strength that I didn't know that I even had. Because when I was going through it, I didn't talk to my family about what was going on with me, and I had no friend at school that I could really talk to about it with at the time because I felt like I didn't really have any allies. It was only until I got in high school and I was able to discuss it with my best friend that I really felt comfortable finally speaking on it for the first time. And he's been like a brother that was born into my family. And, I thank him for being there by my side through me explaining it to him and through whatever struggles that I may have with my issues since. But one of the things that I have been able to take great pride in from my experience is also being able to see people that I care about, make something of their lives. Because have found that the greatest forms of therapy outside of actual therapy, at least for me, have been being able to, one, help people, and two, being able to see people that I care for be successful and thrive. Whether that's people like a Yasmin Rozier, very talented artist who's done good for herself, well, even if I say so, or someone like Joshua Jackson, who is an aspiring musician, who is someone I think as well has a great deal of talent, or Mara Woodson, who's a young educator to the children, or someone like Brittany Barnes who has unlimited potential and is a very talented up and coming makeup artist, and Bria Butler, who's also truly a very talented and extraordinary woman in her own right, who is a true force of nature. So when I look at these people, just these few, just to name, and I see them doing, good things with their lives, it does me a great deal of comfort seeing people that I knew, that I grew up with, that I went to school with, do something for themselves and be good at it. So if I had to say, well, what's the main difference from me 10 years ago up until this point? Well, as you can see, a lot can change in 10 years, as I don't quite have the hair that I had 10 years ago. But that's a personal choice. Um, but in all seriousness, I think the biggest difference for me 10 years ago, from 10 years ago until now, is that, like the women of the Me Too movement, I became more comfortable once I shared my story for the first time. I became more comfortable with sharing it more and more, whether that be through social media or in person, because I've been able to go back twice to my community college alma mater, Coastal Alabama, and I've been able to talk about it to those students there, and it seems to have had a good effect. And ultimately, that's all you want with anything that you do. You want it to resonate with people and touch their soul so they can hopefully take something from what your personal experience is, apply it to their life, and maybe it'll help them accomplish some goal or some hope and dream that they have for themselves. But even still, another thing that I'm grateful for, over the 10 years that I was able to graduate both high school and community college, even with my mental illness issues that some people knew about, some people didn't, whether they knew about it um, after the fact in high school or if you've known about it from watching my videos. Um, like I said, my overarching goal and intent is to reach and touch as many people as possible. And with that being said, hopefully sometime in the next year or so, me and Joshua Jackson, for those of you who have watched my videos, you know we're a two-man group known as EGO, which stands for Extraordinary Gentlemen's Organization. We are looking to start speaking locally in the state of Alabama, going to different places and speaking to people, about life and different things. So this will be another avenue, hopefully, where I can get out there and reach people with my message. But as I said, looking back over these last 10 years, it hasn't always been easy because, like I said, mental illness and the issues from it, it's a daily struggle. But I take it one day at a time and do the best I can. Now, things in life, as anybody knows, they don't always line up the way we want them to necessarily, but we can still do good even when things are not necessarily going as the way we want them to. And I feel like regardless of what my mood is, what my state of mind is, or where I am at in life, if it's one thing that I can do for people, it is that I can help them. That can be my service to the world, to be a servant. So I hope for those of you that have watched this video, it is once again shed some light for something, to give you something positive to look at and to think about and hopefully you can apply it to your lives. And for those of you that have been rocking with me, whether it be through these videos or over the last 10 years, hey, I appreciate it. And for those of you who have played a part in my life, whether it's been getting me to the place that I was at or helping uplift me, I thank you for that as well, because in everything we can find a lesson. And like I said, this to date probably has been the biggest lesson for me in life, is knowing that I am never as weak as it may seem, and I'm never too strong to ask for help if I need it. But I am someone who whose life has meaning and has purpose, and I should not let the opinions of others or how people perceive me stop me from being the person that I know that I have a desire to be, and I know that I can be. So that'll be all for this video. And as I always say, if there's anything that you would like to see me talk about, let me know on any of my social media platforms. If you want to watch any of the other videos that I have done, check out my YouTube channel at DeAndre Horton, or look at any of my videos here on my Facebook page at DeAndre LaQuarius Horton. And as always, try to be the rainbow in someone's cloud, because it costs nothing to be nice to anyone. So spread kindness and love as often as you can. This is DeAndre LaQuarius Horton signing off with the message.